watching you. I see you out there.
Okay. Well, let the record show it is 4 minutes after 6. I'll call to order the regular monthly Durant City Council meeting of January the 8th, 2019. Welcome and Happy New Year. I'd like to call upon our good friend James Dalton to lead us in an invocation, followed by the flag salute led by Councilmember Mike Dills. And if you're able to stand, please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the day. We thank you for our health, the breath of life you give us. We thank you for where we live, Father. We thank you for the fact that the holidays celebrate the birth of your Son Jesus, the time to be together with families. We thank you for where we live. Lord, we pray that as we go about the city's business tonight, that you give our councilmen courage to do the right thing, to make the right decisions. Lord, we just pray that we be unified as a city and we push together for the proper goals, Father. Lord, we thank you for our service men and women who may be in harm's way tonight. We lift them up to you, especially their families. We pray for the families who the holidays may be difficult for. Lord, we thank you for every good thing. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated.
I'm on a roll.
Clerk will call the roll, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Here.
Councilmember Groby.
Here.
Councilmember Dills.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Here.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Here. For the record, all members are present. We have a full quorum. Again, welcome to visitors and to those in the audience that are here for our meeting. Our first order of business this evening is under presentations. We have the Employee Service Awards. Every quarter we do this. And Cindy, you have everything down there for us? I'd like to invite the council members, city manager, and city attorney down to the podium, and we'll have our presentations. We'll take this.
Yeah, take that with you. Uh-oh.
Tonight we are recognizing 12 city employees with a combined 160 years of service to the citizens in the city of Durant. We have 5-year awards. We have 3 10-year awards. We have 2 15-year awards, 1 35-year award, and get this, particularly those that are not even 40 years old yet. We have a 40-year service by an employee, which is just remarkable. But we'll start with the 5-year awards, and if if they're not here, would the department head, if they're here, please come up and receive. The 5-year employees receive a certificate, a pen, and a check for $50. And Tony, I'm going to try to say it right, Baeza? Baeza, right there. Tony's here. Come on up here. Somebody going to take pictures from Mike? Are you going to? Oh, Mike's got a bed. Next, by the way, Tony's with the street department, if I didn't say that. Guys work day in, day out, cold, hot, wet, whatever. Thank you, Tony. Brian Baldwin with the landfills. Brian here? Come on up, Brian. Here's some hardworking guys, too. Hey, Brian. Yes, sir. How are you? Thank you, Brian. The next 5-year is also at the landfill, and that's Noel Gardner. Is Noel here? Not here? Kenny. We'll accept that. That's his big boss. We're always on Kenny's side. Next, with our dispatch, the 911 dispatch. Casey Roberts, is Casey here? Casey couldn't make it. She'll receive the chief will be sure she receives her certificate, pin, and check for $50. It's there. I think this person may be here. With the library, Jennifer Melton. Jennifer, are you here? 5 years. Congratulations, Jennifer. Come over and get a picture.
No, you don't want to be in a picture?
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes the 5-year service awards. Again, we have 3 10-year awards, and the first is also in the library, and someone we all know and appreciate very much, Ms. Carla Dalton. Carla? Don't have any choice. By the way, they receive a certificate, a pen, and a check for $100. Also with the library, Robert Damron. Robert's here. Certificate, a pen, and $100. This is with our law enforcement, our police department, Master Patrolman Wesley Crank, 5 years. Come on up. $10 years, not 5. Congratulations, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Now we move to 15 years of service, and we have two recipients, one with the police department, one with the fire department. First with our police department is Captain Brock, there he is, Brock Jones. They receive a certificate, a pin, and a check for $150. Congratulations, Brock. Thank you. We have to put the wide angle on. Come right in here. Come on in. Wherever you want. Congratulations. With our fire department, Lieutenant Colin Gordon. There he is. Come on up here, young man. Hey. Hey, man. How you doing? Congratulations. Yes, sir. Well, they can come up. If you, no? Yeah, here they come. Here they come. Hold on.
Somebody guilted them into it.
Well, they saw Terry and Brock come up.
Thank you. Now we have a 35-year recipient, and I think their entire time was spent with the solid waste department looking for. Is that right, Albert? One of the first people I met and got acquainted with when I brought my little family back here in 1977. I personally appreciate knowing this guy for more than 35 years, but Albert Pierce, come on up. Bring that little one with you. Actually, I want you to take a look at this because that's how old Albert was when we hired him. Albert receives a plaque, a certificate, a pin, and a check for $350. And we have one 40-year recipient, which is just incredible. I can't hardly imagine 40 years. And they receive a plaque or certificate, a pin, and a check for $400. And this guy, I think, has been in the Parks Department his entire career and worn out I don't know how many John Deere tractors. Right? Ricky Moat. Ricky. He's one heck of a baseball player, too. Thank you, Ricky. Congratulations. That's all right. Well, I just want to add to this recognition tonight, and it's an honor and a privilege to know and have been associated with these employees for many of these years, and they do themselves and our community and our citizens great service with what you do, all of you. Thank you.
Thank God he didn't get cheese. I had no idea.
Okay, we will pick up then with agenda item number 2 on our in our order of business. Consent items. We have under consent items, we have A through E. Are there any to be removed for consideration under item number 3? If not, do we have a motion for the consent docket?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? And hearing none, the clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne,
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Aye. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. Item number 3 on the agenda will require no action. Under information items, item number 4. I think we've heard from some of these folks already, so we're good there. We'll move to item number 5 under administration. 5A is consider approval of resolution 2018-38 calling for the nonpartisan general election of council member for Ward 3, Ward 4, and the at-large position in the city of Durant, Oklahoma. Cindy, were you going to, or Tim?
Okay. This is a standard required resolution, and I have had this resolution reviewed by the election board, and it has been approved as to its form. This will be filed with the election board along with a ward map, and it's the first step in the process of preparing for the election, and the next step being the filing period, which takes place in February.
Any questions for Cindy? If not, entertain a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Further discussion? Hearing none, clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Aye. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. 5B, consider approval of agreement C-2019-01 with the Durant Trails and Open Spaces to create and maintain a disc golf course to be located at Lake Durant. Mr. Marty Cook.
Mr. Mayor, if it would please you, Byron, is the TV down for a minute?
It looks like it is. We got an involuntary shutdown for antivirus all of a sudden.
Can we postpone this to the end of this administration portion of the agenda? We have some pictures we
You
want
want
to show.
to, okay.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too much longer. It looks like it installed.
If we can just postpone this to the end of this administration portion, that would give some others time to go that maybe don't need pictures.
No objections? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Marty. We'll move then to item number 5C, and that is to consider approval of nominations for the Durant Streets and Infrastructure Task Force, and I'll turn that to the city manager.
Mayor and council, at the last council meeting in December, the council unanimously approved a resolution to form the newly formed Durant Streets and Infrastructure Task Force. This task force will be made up of members of 2 from the council, as well as 5 nominated by each council member. And I'm going to go through the list here of the ones nominated by the council for the record. Mayor Tomlinson has nominated James Dalton. Vice Mayor Hitchcock has nominated Charles Bachman. Councilmember Groby, Kevin Keenan. Councilmember Hawthorne, Mike Simulescu. Councilmember Dills has nominated Mike Davis. Additionally, we will need 2 nominations from the floor for the 2 council members who will also be appointed to the task force.
Do we need to make a nomination?
I think a motion would be in order for the council nominations and then a separate motion on the council members.
I don't know that you have to vote on the council members that are going to be separately. If you guys, I mean, if there's, you can kind of address it. If there's only 2 nominated, then you could probably just adopt it as
All 7.
All 7 together.
So I can move to approve the council nominations and then what?
Nominate 2 from the.
And then nominate Mayor Tomlinson and Councilmember Groby to the task force. That work?
Have a motion?
Well, you probably have to do that. You probably better if you do that separately, I think.
Would you make up your mind?
At some point I may. It depends. I'll give you, it depends.
Okay, then I move to approve the nominations for Durant Streets and Infrastructure Task Force.
Second.
We have a motion, we had a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne,
Aye.
Councilmember Groby.
Aye.
Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye.
Okay, now,
Motion carries.
do I need to make a nomination now? Can I? Okay, so since you 2 are the only ones that are for sure going to be here, make a motion to nominate Mayor Tomlinson and Councilmember Groby to the Durant Streets and Infrastructure Task Force.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby.
Aye.
Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. Tim, you have anything you want to add to that, or?
No, sir. Once we come up with the times and dates, the members will be notified. Also, it's important to let the public know these meetings are public meetings, and the public would be invited to attend once we establish the time and dates. And just for information purposes, this meeting, this committee is a task force, which is an ad hoc committee, which means it's a temporary committee. It will be, its goal is to finish before June 30th and present a document to the council with the priorities of our infrastructure as well as some funding options.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Tim? Or okay, I think we're still up a little, almost there, looks like. We'll move to item 5D then. And Mr. Paul Bunce, if you'll come forward, council is to consider a recommendation from the Durant Industrial Authority to fund the water taps for water service for steel fab industrial project from the Durant Economic Development quarter-cent sales tax fund.
The Durant Industrial Authority met yesterday to recommend to the City Council that this be approved, and the amount of not to exceed $88,500. This is to provide the fire loop, part of the water service of steel fab.
Any questions for Paul, the full-time interim executive director of the Durant Industrial Authority?
Interim. Keyword interim.
And Paul, you might want to let the folks know as far as where the funding will come from to pay for this.
The funding would be from the quarter-cent Economic Development Sales Tax Fund. We did look at other options, but we used up all the CDBG ED funds for this, so this is really the only source that we see that's available.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just had a quick question on this, because we haven't approved anything out of this in a while. There's just the memorandum that's attached. We're not actually approving a document, it's just the approval, I guess, to expend the funds?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I didn't understand the question.
We're not, the council's not actually approving a document. The only thing that was attached is just the memorandum. So just
Right.
us making a motion and passing that is all that's required.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted, it's been a while since we've done it, so I just
Right.
wanted to double check.
Good question, though. Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Aye. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. Takes us to item number, or do we want to go back, or, no, okay, good, you're good.
Okay.
Don't let me fail to go back to that one, though. 5E, consideration to accept the 2018 Recreational Trail Grant Award Project Agreement, RT 18-107, SP 18-07, from the Oklahoma Department of Tourism and Recreation, funded through the Federal Highway Administration in the amount of $240,000 for the Chuckwall Creek Trail connecting to the Rails to Trails project C-2019-02. Ms. Becca Parr.
And Tim, was this schematic uploaded?
I didn't see it as an attachment.
Okay, well, I didn't, but it was later, so I didn't know if it had been. Okay. Currently, the city has, we were awarded a grant to build the Rails to Trails project, which will start at the VPAC parking lot and going north with the bridge across Chuckwall Creek. And unfortunately, that grant was not going to provide enough funding to complete the trail to connect to First Avenue. So we have been awarded a grant that we submitted through the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department for $240,000, which should complete the entire length of that trail. And so we're bringing this forward for your acceptance of these funds.
Any questions for Ms. Becca Collins? Not, entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Aye. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. Item 5F, consideration to approve resolution number 2019-01, accepting the $30,000 grant award from the National Fitness Campaign to construct an outdoor fitness court at Carl Albert Park. Ms. Becca?
Okay, and this is an awesome project. We're going to be able to utilize the land and water grant that we have been funded for the Carl Albert Park improvements to build the concrete pad for this court. And then there'll be some fundraising efforts throughout the year to collect the remaining $90,000 that will be needed to build an outdoor fitness court through the National Fitness Campaign. And we were just informed over the holidays that Southeastern University has also been awarded one of these grants, so we will have 2 of these in town.
Are we at a time for motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Aye. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Becca. Item 5G, consider approval of Resolution 2019-02, authorizing a mural project for 1015 North First Avenue. Mr. Matt.
Yes, sir. Good evening. So the owner of 1015 North First Avenue has a cinder block building on that site and hopes to commission a mural, the sample of which is attached to the resolution. It's a hashtag #MyDurant. Lettering is about 7 feet by 8 foot dimensions. It would face the east. So along North First, the owner's hoping to add some vibrancy and a pro-Durant message. And I'm here for any questions.
Any questions for Matt? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Getting a lot of seconds tonight. Clerk will record the vote.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Aye. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Matt. Now we'll return to 5B. Will, for the record, consider approval of agreement C-2019-01 with the Durant Trails and Open Spaces to create and maintain a disc golf course to be located at Lake Durant. Mr. Marty.
Good evening. So Durant Trails and Open Spaces have submitted a proposal to us for this 18-hole disc golf course to be utilized at Lake Durant. We have them present here tonight, or some of their representatives, and they'd like to show you a quick slideshow with what they have to offer. Go on.
You guys probably need no introduction, but reintroduce yourself to members of the audience, please. Mike.
Alrighty, my name is Mike DeLauro with Vision Bank, president of Durant Trails and Open Space. We have James Bishop here, who can introduce himself. Go ahead, James.
James Bishop, I'm the CFO for gas turbine applications here in Durant.
All right. First of all, thank you, Council and Mayor, for having us here tonight. We're here to discuss the 18-hole proposal and the course. So let's see if, just click it here. Okay, so here we go. So Durant Trails and Open Space is a citizen-led nonprofit group that's here to better the community. We helped initiate I got a backup paper copy so we can pass it. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. So we helped implement the 9-hole course at Carl Albert Park, which has been tremendous for us to be able to offer disc golf as a low-impact recreational activity. Now, the course has been great. That space has been fantastic for us, and we have held over 50 events in the past year, and the utilization of that course has been tremendous. Now we have over 180 members in our Durant Disc Golf Facebook group, which is continuing to grow, and we have found ourselves with a need to build and move on with another opportunity for the city of Durant. Next slide, please. So as we've seen, Carl Albert is a great course, but it's small, and we've quickly outgrown it. We saw that there is a need for an 18-hole course which will attract and help our economic impact, in that we will like to host events and be able to attract area disc golfers from other communities here to Durant. And so in our proposal, we are planning to fund 100% of this project and bring in a world championship course designer that will design the course, and have PDGA, which is the Professional Disc Golfers Association, sanction tournaments, which again brings forward the legitimacy of disc golf and being able to host bigger multi-day events, which will drive more people here to the city of Durant, staying in our hotels, filling up in our gas stations, and eating out in our restaurants. Next slide, please. The total expenses that we have that this will cost us is about $18,000. We're anticipating over 250 rounds of disc golf per month, and Durant Trails and Open Space is 100% committed to not only the maintenance and helping with keeping the course clean, but we want to make sure that this is something that generations to come will be able to enjoy this course. We are going to be fundraising 100% of this and purchasing the assets for the course, such as the baskets, the tee pads, and the course signage. And so that's going to be something that our group as Durant Trails is going to be able to implement. Next slide, please. This here is a conceptualization of the course that utilizes the Lake Durant area, which currently there's a tremendous pavilion that is there that we anticipate being able to see a lot of usage out of and being able to have these big events. And so Lake Durant is just a destination for those that have not been out there. It's tremendous. Next slide, please. We've also teamed up with T-Set Healthy Living with the current Carl Albert Disc Golf Course. So our Durant Trails group has created synergy and being able to offer this activity for families. So this sport of disc golf can be enjoyed from the novice player to the entire family. Last couple slides, please. This is a current look of the current disc golf courses throughout Texas and Oklahoma. And if you can look here in Durant, we really have, there's a bit of a void that connects Dallas to even McAllister and Tulsa. Cities such as Ardmore have 2 disc golf courses that are 18 holes, and in McAllister there are now 3 courses. And if you can see, the amount of disc golf courses that have come forward in the last several years has really grown exponentially. So we feel like us having a world championship course in Durant is going to differentiate ourselves and bring more people to Durant. Next slide, please. And so we're here tonight to ask the City Council for their approval to maintain the mowing, the trimming of trees, and the assistance with installing the disc golf course, and being able to keep that maintained for us in terms of the mowing side of it. As far as the design work, we're having a World Championship designer do that for us, and so we're here tonight to ask that. Thank you all for your consideration.
Thank you, Mike and James. And Marty shared with us earlier that your reference to the moderate, and I think we call it maintenance kind of program, the commitment from the city in that regard.
Yeah, we already do some mowing on site anyway. As opposed to like what you would see at your house where you're mowing every week and a half, this would probably be closer to every couple weeks. It wouldn't have to be the short golf course grass. We're talking about something that you can walk over. Keep the trail clear enough that you can fly the discs through. They do like some tree hazards and water hazards as a part of their course. So we're not even cutting all the limbs off. We're just going to kind of keep some areas clean enough that we can travel the environment with families safely.
I think it's important to note that really what differentiates championship level golf courses is, being able to have the natural water hazards that are out there, the wide open spaces, and just that ability to have that piece of property to be able to utilize for this is ideal.
It's council's pleasure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby.
Aye.
Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. And on behalf of council, Marty, you have something to
They
add?
would like to have a photo with the council in there.
Well,
You can do it after.
okay, then let me finish my thought.
Okay.
On behalf of this council and the city manager and staff, folks, Mike DeLauro and James Bishop here and the folks at the Durant Trails and Open Spaces are some of our movers and shakers, and we appreciate that, what you guys are doing very much. You want us to come down there? You want to come up here, or how do we want to do a picture?
We have a few guests here from the disc golf community.
Oh,
We could
sure.
just probably have them come up and y'all could be fine there. We could maybe gather around for a quick photo.
Okay.
If that's all right. Come on up. We brought our discs as well.
Mike, can you quickly introduce some of these folks maybe, or they can introduce
Let's
them?
quickly go around here. Let's start us off, Stephen.
My name's Steven. James Bishop. Joe Mack. Jeremy Burns.
Saber Peterson.
Craig Parker.
You guys want to stand up maybe?
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, I believe that concludes the administration agenda items. Okay. Takes us to item number 6 on our agenda, and that is under public hearings. 6A is to consider approval of ordinance 1834, a rezoning from highway commercial and commercial recreation C2 to single-family residential R1 for property located west of North First and north of Gale Farrell. Mr. Matt.
Yes, sir. H&P Land Holding has about an acre of land that's on to the northwest of the intersection of Gale Farrell and North First. That rectangular strip in the images you're seeing on the screen. And the request is to go from the current C2 highway commercial zoning district to an R1 single family zoning district. And that's to facilitate about 4 single family lots on the site. If we could go to the colored zoning map, let's see, page is that? Just wanted to mention the context that to the west, you'll see that Prestonwood Circle is single-family zoning immediately to the west, that there is commercial property to the east and to the south, that you have a mix of commercial and residential already in the area. The future land use map of the city of Durant shows general commercial for the area, which is its current zone. And so our staff recommendation from my department, the recommendation is for denial because it does not conform with the future land use map. But at the regular meeting of the Planning Commission in December, one member abstained, the rest voted recommending the request approval. There have been no citizen concerns brought to our attention about the request. And we have some context photos. We have the future land use map and zoning map in the attachments. And I'm here for any questions.
I might add, we are under the public hearing portion of our agenda. So if there is anyone in the audience that wishes to speak regarding this rezoning request, whether in favor of or in opposition to, this will be the opportunity for you to do that. But at this time, does council have any questions for Mr. Matt regarding this request? I have one. Do we have an idea of the access off of Gail Farrell? Will that, or the access to that, is there a street already there? Into
the only street at this point is Gail Farrell Drive, that the land is undeveloped with.
So platting and stuff will come later, right?
Correct.
With that will address.
Correct. But it is the prerogative of the applicant to supply a design if they have one, and none has been supplied. So I just know of the potential 4 single-family lots that the applicant's hoping for.
Any other questions for Matt?
Matt, do you know, it's kind of hard to tell on the future land use map what the intention was. Is it light industrial? Is that correct?
For this particular site?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, for reference, going back to look and see what was on the original land use map. It looks like that was light industrial, but what's directly behind that looks like it's residential, across the street from it's residential. It's kind of a narrow little strip. It's kind of hard to tell.
Behind the actual lane, sorry, Emily Angel with Reliable Realty.
And I'm sorry, you'll need to come forward, please.
Must be a representative of the applicant.
State your name and your address, please.
Emily Nankivil, Reliable Realty. Going to be the one helping put everything together. Behind this property, there's a house, and then it goes into, I think it's First Street apartments. The actual diagram that he has, half of the lot is already zoned R1 or R2. So it's half commercial, half R2 already, is what we have in the books. Like this is already R2.
If we could go, there are blocks of red and yellow. It's right after the application on the slides. Yeah. So the hatched rectangle, that's the site we're talking about, and that shows as all highway commercial on the city zoning map.
Wait a minute, sorry. Are we talking about existing or what the map shows?
I believe we're talking about, potential discrepancy between what the city has and what the applicant thinks the zoning is currently.
Because our public hearing was a consideration of C2 to R1.
Yes, R1.
But are you saying some of that's zoned differently?
Half of it's already R1, and I think I said R2. From what we have, half of it's already R1. So just, I think the further part that's closest to First Street
is what is C2, that we would want to be R1. Just make it all R1 instead of what we have half and half.
Okay.
From what our deed and everything shows, the plat shows half of it already residential, half commercial.
Okay.
Okay, that wasn't brought to my attention
I
before
think,
this.
City Attorney, we may have to look to you on this a little bit because, Chair,
Can I help for a second?
Marty Cook, former Community Development.
On your deed, the county applies a use to your land. And that can be residential, commercial, industrial, whatever. It has nothing to do with city zoning. You can have a residential lot zoned, this is zoned commercial in its entirety, but half of it on the county is listed as a residential for
Yes.
tax purposes.
Okay.
But it doesn't change the zoning.
Okay.
And Tom may,
Well,
it's actually commercial, and she's wanting to go residential with it.
because if we had two different zonings there,
That changes
that's
everything.
not what was considered.
Right.
But if we indeed it was
Okay.
C2.
Then I was,
and-
Your
and
code of
that
ordinances
clears it up, I
says that this map is your governing body.
Right.
And that's why Aaron keeps this map perfectly every time the codes are changed.
Okay. That
okay.
clears it up for me. How about you guys? So where were we?
And it may be because of that assumption. If I'm looking at it right, on the application, it has a parcel width of 215 feet. When I measure out the entire parcel from east to west, on Google Earth, it measures 385 feet. So it's possible that the application was made for just a portion of that entire parcel based on the assumption that maybe part of it was already residential. So in the application, it has a parcel width of 215 by 115. It is 115 from north to south, but it's almost 400 feet from east to west. So I don't think the application is going to cover the entire parcel as marked on the hatched area on the diagram.
Well, and that would require a lot split process, correct? Because of the assumption made that the county assessment reflected the actual city documentation.
If it's all commercial, can we just amend it with our motion?
Can you verify that the mail-out that was sent to the owners has the proper legal to determine if it's 215 or 400 feet?
I'm just looking at the application that was contained within
Right.
within the council packet. I don't know what, I mean, and it has on two different places 215 feet, which is clearly narrower than the crosshatched area that's shown on the screen, which
You
is
don't have a
also in the
letter?
council packet.
I don't have a
And it doesn't,
Yeah,
and it doesn't indicate, I don't know from the packet that it would be, that we could determine which 215 feet
Right.
we're talking about. Is it the east or the west?
But if the advertisement on the letter actually said the entire parcel, then that would, for whatever's on the application doesn't really bring bearing at that point, right?
Right, but I don't,
Because the application, a lot of time is landowners' information that they're putting is not always accurate, is what I'm getting at. And we would select the piece of property and include the actual legal for that piece of property generally.
looking at the ordinance, hang on just a second.
So are you kind of saying we'd have the right legal on there? The 215 feet could be just a misidentification or,
Yes.
I mean,
And if we corrected that on the letter that went out in advertisement, and it, so that the legal would reflect properly what is actually being rezoned. And you don't have a copy of that letter, do you?
In my office. I could get a copy of that letter to verify the legality. So the application
Well,
should have
the
been
ordinance-
amended once we checked the legal boundaries that the city shows.
Yeah, the ordinance seems to go the other direction too. The ordinance seems to be about 600 feet by 115 feet. And so I'm just a little confused, and I may be off on measurement with Google Earth, but it's 600 feet, and that's,
Isn't it 899 minus 635, so it's 300 and something feet. 300 and some change.
no, it says point of beginning.
200.
So you go to a point of beginning, and then you go 615 feet, and then 115, back the other way, 635. So it's a rectangle that's 600 feet or so by 115 on the ordinance. But when measured out on Google Earth, it doesn't. It's about 400 feet. Scroll to, I wish I could get my,
The ordinance 1834.
mhm.
That paragraph comes from the warranty deed in this case. That's where that information comes from.
I have a question. Is that whole rectangle all the way to First Street?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
'Cause I thought that would be the 200
Would it
feet.
be in our best interest to, I hate to delay this consideration, but is there a question on the legal? And
If you measure to First Street, it's exactly 635 feet, which would be that entire parcel, or that entire hatched area plus the red parcel to the east that goes to First Street. So I'm wondering if somehow that was included in that measurement, but the hatched area measures out.
Is it showing the same owner all the way through? Because it should be H&P, and then that possible part that I said could be R1, could be H&H properties under a different.
It shows to be
Okay,
one
all of it,
parcel.
Okay. Hmm.
No matter what happens, I want there to be some verification in the application process within my office. Once it gets to me, didn't realize I needed to backtrack and do more review. So.
Probably recommend laying this over until
Okay.
subsequent meeting.
would the motion be to table or to take no action this evening?
I think you just take no action, and it could show back up on
Okay.
a subsequent agenda.
But with the directions, I think I kind of need to know, what are we going to do to find out?
And I'll
The
we'll
correction.
include in the attachments, we'll include things like the warranty deed and maybe an attachment to the application, amending the application to reflect the city maps, just make sure that the applicant and the city are on the same page.
We don't see these folks having to go back through the entire process, do we?
Unless there is a difference between the boundaries that we show on our zoning map that have been considered as the request,
I'm sorry, your
if
name
the
again?
applicant would like
Emily?
different
Emily?
boundaries.
I
I
hope
have
you,
all
hope
this
you
in my
understand.
office. We
Okay,
just kind of got,
okay.
forgot
If
about
you're not under a time crunch, and
Uh-huh.
we want to be sure that what we vote upon is not only accurate for you, but for the city as well. And I think there's a big kind of question mark right now of 2 or 3 things here. So we will take no action under this public hearing portion agenda item this evening if there are no objections from council members. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Actually takes us to item number, first I'll close the public hearing portion of item number 6A, and we will move to item number 7 under citizen comments on non-agenda items and citizens wishing to address the council regarding matters which are not listed on the agenda are required to sign up no later than 5 minutes prior to our scheduled starting time. Contain space for their name, address, phone number, and the topic to be discussed. And we have 2 sign-ups, two sheets, and one is for the airport authority, under which we have citizen comments, and the other is under the city council. Is Jim here? This sign-up was on the city council meeting, and the topic, though, is the airport. But in the interest of all, we'll call Mr. Jim Thorpe up. Jim, we're at citizen comments. And Jim wanted to speak regarding airport, I believe hangars, it says.
Yes. I'm Jim Thorpe. I've got some concerns on this. What it is we leased the big hangar out, and I'm not sure it's certain or not. How it ties into me, you know, it always ties into you somewhere along the line. My deal is I've been looking at this and conferring with some people over here. Probably will be conferring with some legal counsel on this. My deal is the hangar number 10 never was bidded out. It was, you know, they're giving it to them for $200 a month. I know they're supposed to put in $300,000. And if they do put in $300,000, I would like it to be documented to where we can have every receipt and it can be verified. But, you know, they're getting that big hangar for $200. And what upsets me, you know, it always comes back to your own pocket, right? And it's coming back to my own pocket. I'm already paying $270 for my hangar. You know, and I can give you bylaws in the FAA to where it tells you, and you can read it yourself. And it's FAA Airport Compliance Manual, Order 5190 6B. Tells you to be fair and reasonable, federal laws. It goes down to all that stuff. Y'all can look into it yourself. But what bothers me big time is that they're getting it for $200 a month. I'm paying $270. Now you're going to raise it again on me. These two people, I don't know if they had some friends on the, you know, the council or not. I really don't know. The two people that had this LLC company. It wouldn't surprise me. They got, you know, Blake Shelton out there. I don't know if they're charging him $5,000 for his airplane and $5,000 for his helicopter. And then you've got it to where he subleases. You know, it's discriminating because it says that you're supposed to be fair with all of the hangars. You know, I've got 2 spaces and I can't sublease, so I think that's discriminating against me. And the other thing is, it wouldn't surprise me in the 10-year time that they do it, they gross about $1 million. And it wouldn't surprise me if they make $400,000 or $500,000 on that thing in 10 years. Here's what gets me. They're going to make that much. The city of Durant could have put that $300,000 in that building, and they could have come out with another $500,000 in 10 years. But instead of that, you're putting it in these two guys' pocket, and they get to stick maybe $300,000 or $400,000, $500,000 in their pocket. And then you're charging me $270, and then you're going to go up on it again next year and on the next year. You wouldn't have had to go up on all the airport hangar rents if you'd have took that money. You really made it the middleman, which is not even right. You made it the middleman. They make the money on it, and then they're making money on the airport, and then we get stuck with this thing. You know, I'm going to be paying probably $375 a month in the next 2 years. I think it's discriminating. There was no bid on this thing. If you had bid on this thing, you could probably been getting at least probably $400 or $500 a month. But they got it for $200 measly a month. The big hangar. They can take, you know, they got Blake Shelton's airplane, his helicopter, and now they can take another 10 or 15 planes and charge them $100 or $200 a month. Now, isn't that amazing? But then on me, I can't do any of this thing. I think it's discriminating. I think you should have had a bid. I think you could have made more money on this if you'd have had a bid. And I don't know who railroaded this through and who was over this, but I think it's literally wrong. I would like to have some comments on this, even on the legal counsel, but I will be looking into this, and I will be, you know, I know you get your money from the FAA, and it's got to be fair and reasonable. I will be looking into this with counsel, and I'll be probably filing a complaint with the FAA and with the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission. I know you might think it's funny, but it won't be funny in a little bit. So I will be doing that. If you have anything to say on that, I would like to hear.
Anybody in the audience have anything to say? Now's the time. Jim, thank you for your comments.
Okay, well, I appreciate y'all coming and giving me some time. Like I said, I think y'all will look into this, and if you'll look into this next month and start giving me answers, I don't want to do all this stuff. But I don't want my hangar rent brought up another $150 a month when they're making $300,000 or $400,000 that we could have made ourselves by just painting that thing up and renting it out ourselves. But I thank you for this time. And I'll get back with you this next month. I'm not in a hurry, but I will be seeking legal counsel.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, it just looks to me like that Jim's got a valid point. Everybody should pay the same thing, it seems.
I don't know enough to...
This is not a discussion item. This is citizen comments. This is not something for discussion. It's not on the agenda for discussion.
Thank you, Counselor. If there are no objections, we'll recess out of regular council meeting and consider the executive session later. Okay, entertain a motion to recess out of regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. The clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne,
Aye.
Councilmember Groby,
Aye.
Councilmember Dills,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock,
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, we are recessed out of regular session. Let the record show it's 7:01. I'll call to order the regular monthly meeting of the Durant City Utilities Authority of January the 8th, 2019. Ask Secretary to call the roll, please.
Trustee Hawthorne,
Here.
Trustee Groby,
Here.
Trustee Dills,
Here.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock,
Here.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Here, for the record, all members are present. We have a quorum. First order of business under agenda item number 1 is the consent items. We have 1A. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk or secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne,
Aye.
Trustee Groby,
Aye.
Trustee Dills,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock,
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. Item 2 requires no action. Under item number 3, under information items, any comments, questions there? Tim? Okay. Item number 4, under administration, we have no administrative considerations. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. The secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne,
Aye.
Trustee Groby,
Aye.
Trustee Dills,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock,
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye, we are adjourned out of the City Utilities Authority. Let the record show it is 7:08. Call to order the regular monthly meeting of the Durant Airport Authority of January the 8th, 2019, and ask the secretary to call the roll, please.
Trustee Hawthorne,
Here.
Trustee Groby,
Here.
Trustee Dills,
Here.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock,
Here.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Here, we have a quorum. First order of business, consent docket, items 1A and B. Are there any to be removed for consideration under item number 2? Hearing none, entertain a motion for the consent docket.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne,
Aye.
Trustee Groby,
Aye.
Trustee Dills,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock,
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. No items to be considered under item number 2. We have no information items, no citizen comments under item number 4. Under administrative, item 5A, consider approval of addendum C-2018-55A to agreement C-2018-55 with the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma for a donation of $2 million to to be used in the airport runway rehabilitation and extension project located at Durant Regional Airport, Eaker Field. Mr. Marty Cook.
And I'm back. So the Choctaw Nation has partnered with us, and we brought before you a few months ago now an original MOU that was really a handshake between us and the Choctaw Nation, saying that they were in support and going to help us fund this project of an extension at the airport. We went through some different items with their legal counsel, and what they decided they wanted to do in the end was actually just create a pure donation to us for this project. So the document I'm asking you to look at tonight is actually an addendum to the original agreement, and it spells out what the money is to be used on. We would have to make sure that we track it in a way that we can audit it in the future for the purposes of making sure where it went. But the donation really is exactly that. It's a donation. As soon as the mayor signs this, or the chairman, sorry, we would send it back to them, and they will begin to process a check for donation. So that's the way they've opted to go on this. We feel like this works good for us as well. Be happy to answer any questions if I could.
Any questions for Marty? Or we have time for a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne.
Aye.
Trustee Groby.
Aye.
Trustee Dills.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock.
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. I'd like to ask on behalf of the Airport Authority members that Marty and the city manager share our gratitude and thanks to the Choctaw Nation for their assistance and financial assistance in this project. Anything under new business? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne.
Aye.
Trustee Groby.
Aye.
Trustee Dills.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock.
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye. We are adjourned out of the Airport Authority. Let the record show it is now 7:12. I'll call to order the regular meeting, quarterly meeting of the Durant Development Authority of January the 8th, 2019. Ask the secretary to call the roll, please.
Trustee Hawthorne.
Here.
Trustee Groby. Here. Trustee Dills.
Here.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock.
Here.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Here. For the record, all members are present. We have a full quorum. First order of business is consent items, 1A. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne.
Aye.
Trustee Groby. Trustee Dills.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock.
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye, motion carries. We have nothing under information items. Anything under new business? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. The secretary will record the vote, please.
Trustee Hawthorne.
Aye.
Trustee Groby.
Aye.
Trustee Dills.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Hitchcock.
Aye.
Chairman Tomlinson.
Aye, we are adjourned out of the Durant Development Authority. Entertain a motion to reconvene in regular city council session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. The clerk would record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby.
Aye.
Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, we are back into regular session, and we are at agenda item number 8, under executive session. Consider executive session for confidential communication with the attorney, city attorney, concerning pending claim against City of Durant, Ballard versus City of Durant. For the record, the case number is recorded, and then we also have executive session for confidential communication with the city attorney concerning pending claim against the City of Durant, Brittingham versus City of Durant. And that case number, et cetera, is on the record here. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Clerk will record the vote, please.
Councilmember Hawthorne.
Aye.
Councilmember Groby. Councilmember Dills.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hitchcock.
Aye.
Mayor Tomlinson.
Aye, we are in executive session. We'll be back.